All right, so our next speaker is Laurie Mendez. Having grown up on a very special spit of land called the Silver Strand in Coronado, Laurie has developed a lifelong deep connection with and love and respect for the coast, the ocean, and all of its amazing and diverse creatures. Recognizing that the ocean, our life force, needs our help, Laurie left her 28-year San Diego law practice and has come to SIO, Scripps, to spend a year learning and connecting with foremost experts. After graduating, Laurie will return to her law practice, but also plans to continue her work to effectively prevent plastics from entering the ocean here in San Diego, statewide, and abroad. So Laurie is, when I said the quote, for those of you who were here right in the beginning, that Paul Wellstone quote, "Never separate the life you live from the words you speak," I really think of Laurie. Laurie is somebody who is just so incredibly passionate about the issues on which she works, and it comes through, and it will certainly come through in her presentation. It's just been really, really fantastic to have her here as the sort of constant reminder of especially this particular issue of waste and plastic and trash in our coasts and oceans. So I really appreciate that she was able to come to our program and work on a capstone so focused here at Scripps. Laurie, I also am excited because now that we are 12 months in, that is Tyler, that is Taylor. The names are very similar, but they are different people. And now I know that you have it. Okay. All right, please join me in welcoming Laurie Mendez.
All right, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Thank you to my friends and family for your support and for being here, even from abroad. And so with no further, and also thank you for my capstone chair, Dr. Richard Norris, who I know is here as well. So let's get down to brass tacks. Today, for the next few minutes, we are going to be talking trash. That's it, we are your captive audience. Frankly, plastics do not belong in the ocean. We all value a clean and healthy ocean. Plastics do not belong in it. I will share with you my ideas for keeping them out. I grew up in Coronado, as Samantha mentioned. I spent a lot of my time at the beach, and I spent a lot of time running. And whenever I would see plastic trash, I would pick it up. Over the years, into the 80s and beyond, I noticed more and more trash, and more, and that the plastic was smaller and smaller. Decades later, I returned to my home beach, and after just 5 minutes, I found all this plastic stuff. And all that plastic adds up. This is a photo of the Tijuana River with plastic probably after a big rain. It's backed up against that boom. As my colleague Erica mentioned, even though we have booms in some of our rivers, whether by wind or water, river or storm drain, plastic, a lot of it gets into the ocean. So I wanted to do something about all of this plastic. So I would go to beach cleanups on the weekends, but after a while I realized the beach cleanups are just not enough. And so I eventually met somebody wise who told me, "Laurie, if you want to be really impactful, you got to go upstream. Go to the source." That's what I was told. But the source is not any place that can be found in the natural environment. Actually, the source can be found at your neighborhood coffee shop. That's right. By a show of hands, please, how many of you think that this paper cup that you drink coffee out of is recyclable? Oh my gosh, we have an educated audience here. Well, you are all, in fact, very wise and smart. And the reason that it isn't, maybe because we've talked, you already know this, but anyway. So the inside is it's made of plastic. It's plastic lined. And there are very few recycle facilities that are able to separate the plastic from the paper. So plastic lined paper cup, crash. Okay, sleeve, it is paper, recycle. The lid, 1 through 6 with the chase symbol, recyclable. Poisonous, but recyclable. The plastic cup and the lid, recyclable. Straws clog the machines at the recycle places. Trash. Finally, what about these things? Well, clamshells, 1 through 6, recyclable. If they have any food, China doesn't want them these days. Mine had salad dressing on it. Trash. And we have a lot of things that are made of things that say they're compostable. But here in San Diego, we don't have an industrial compost facility. Guess what? Not recyclable. Trash, trash, and trash. A lot of trash. All right. So, people here at Scripps are working really hard and they're environmentally conscious. Yet we have plastics everywhere. There are 2 places to get food and drink here. The first is called Cups, it's a coffee place, and the second one is Caroline's, right upstairs. It's a sit-down restaurant, and then Belinda's comes here in her truck once a week. The thing that all 3 have in common is they all serve up single-use plastics. In fact, where most probably see food and drink here, I see unnecessary plastics. So, recognizing the disconnect between the ecologically conscious people that do their good work and what's being served and consumed, I decided to tackle the problem using a multi-pronged solution. First, I did a waste audit to measure how much and in what our trash system doesn't work. To measure how much and what is in our trash and recycle bins. Next, I met with cafe owners and managers on and off campus, and also I met with sustainability directors on UCSD, which is our parent campus, and other campuses in San Diego. I also reviewed case studies, and the goal was to find out really what worked, what didn't work, so we wouldn't make the mistakes that others made, and we could use lessons learned and bring them here to Scripps. So we set up also a sustainability webpage with specific information on how to reduce plastic use and also what's recyclable and what's not. I sent out a petition to people here at Scripps and to gauge people's level of interest and to spread awareness. 121 people on campus signed the petition, pledging to reduce their single-use plastic footprint and to support a ban of these single-use plastic items on campus. And finally, while my colleague Hillary Eggers expertly filmed, I had the honor of interviewing Scripps director Margaret Leinen. Without further ado, let's hear what Director Leinen has to say about reducing single-use plastics here on the Scripps campus.
As a result of our studying the ocean and its relationship to land and atmosphere, we've come to understand that humans have an enormous footprint and have very profoundly affected the Earth, the planet. What having a small footprint means to us at Scripps is reducing our consumption and our impact in many ways. And one that we're very aware of because of the oceans is plastics. So one of the things that we're very focused on is doing whatever we can do to eliminate the use of single-use plastics. Zero waste is an important concept for us because we're right on the Pacific coast. And we want to ensure that we're not contributing to the waste, any kind of waste, that's going to the beach or going to the ocean. I think there's an important responsibility that comes along with being a global leader in Earth, space, geoscience, the ocean, all of the things that Scripps does. As a result, we need to convey that to people. We need to have people understand that. We need to teach that. But we also have a responsibility to walk the talk and to have the smallest footprint that we can have on our planet.
as Director Leinen mentioned, the goal here is to have zero waste or as close to it as possible so that we can reduce our footprint. So this chart just shows the process starting from coming out of the ground, fossil fuels, manufacturing, assembly, being distributed all the way to the restaurant here, our coffee shop here at campus, with example of a coffee cup. And basically, once that coffee cup is in the customer's hands for 15 minutes, it's thrown away in the trash bin. Some of it leaks into the ocean, the environment in the ocean. That's what we're concerned about here today. So if we just change up that model, ban some of these single-use plastics, and instead use a single-use or use a reusable mug or other reusable things, we can change up that model. So here's some of the good people I talked to. I learned a lot of lessons. First, Tricia Stoll at Point Loma Nazarene. She taught me about this random acts of sustainability that would be rewarded with a ceramic mug randomly, and also about a place called Bobby B's on campus where they sell coffee for $1 for people who bring their own cups. Carol Norman at University of San Diego uses an RF tag on her reusable bottles for students. They're scanned underneath the Coke machine and away they go. They can keep track with how many times they're used. Alyssa, the general manager at Phil's in La Jolla, taught me about customer behavior, and a lot of them take lids and straws. And Johnny, manager extraordinaire of Panic in La Jolla, was the first that I know of to start an actual mug share program that works. So what is mug share? So this is really, it's really just, again, about bringing your own mug instead of a reusable one and making a lot of waste. And so the key to mug share is a dishwasher. And fortunately, they're gonna put one in right next door, right, Ken? They're gonna put one in right next door to cups, the new cups. And there are just 3 steps beyond that. First, you can bring your own First, you can go ahead and borrow the cafe's cup for free. Second, you can bring your own and collect a discount. Or third, you can just, if you're having one of those, oh gosh, I forgot my cups kind of morning, then you could just go to the shelf and grab one and take it back to your workspace, whatever, as long as you preferably rinse it after a while, and then bring it back so that it can be washed and sanitized for somebody else or you to use again. So it's all about the bottom line for the vendors, the customer, and the environment. It's got to be good for everybody. As Christian Conway from a coffee shop up on Upper Campus told me, it is about the cost of the cup, the coffee, etc., but it's also about the labor for dishwashing. What I learned, though, from a Starbucks study is if a coffee cafe has cups on hand, they can actually save, in Starbucks' case, $1 million a year. So Linda from Cups itself told me that she's happy to give customers a discount as long as she's saving time and money. Why not? And Johnny, the manager extraordinaire, told me that washing and sterilizing the mugs is not a big deal.
The mug and labor.
Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, so other best practices for scripts. See, he really did say that. Other best practices for scripts. Max, he's showing off, he's so proudly showing off his reusable stainless steel straws. Those can be implemented at Caroline's, and they can be used for up to 2,500 times. Here at Scripps, Samantha made sure that we all had at orientation a water bottle from Scripps and a tumbler. So combined with our hydration stations that are all over campus, there is absolutely no need for reusable bottles. We should also try and bring our own utensils, but a 3-in-1 will do great. First, restaurants should ask customers if they really want one, but if they are giving them away, 3-in-1 will save a lot of plastic. And then we might put that RF tag or barcoding or something, or scanning an ID to use if we pass out these number 5 reusable containers to go, and they can be recycled after around 500 times. We also need education. We need to be able to figure out, it shouldn't take a brain surgeon like my stepbrother to figure out whether, for real, whether which bin to put our stuff in. It shouldn't be that hard. So if we use shadow boxes, that should help. Trash talkers at events, these are volunteers like they use at UC Irvine. They can help also help people figure out what goes where when they're not familiar with what goes where. And also, as I mentioned, we need the right financial incentives, which can vary from 25 cents all the way to $1 off. So in sum, by walking the walk right here on the SIO campus, we will cut our waste footprint, meet our zero waste goals, and keep plastics out of the landfill and out of the ocean. Leading by example, we will show others what is possible, and we will ignite the change that the world and the ocean needs. Thank you. I forgot this. A lot of stuff. Oh, I forgot questions. Oh, wait. I wanted to, oh no, what just happened? And people I want to thank that are really important. Okay, any questions, please? I'm just so glad to be done. Okay. Okay, yes. Oh, I said that out loud?
Great job, Laurie.
Thank
really
you.
nice presentation. I'm wondering, so you're doing a great job in trying to get everybody to reduce plastic use, but I'm wondering if you know anything about why San Diego doesn't have a composting program and what's currently happening in that area to do
yeah.
better at recycling here in San Diego.
Thank you. Some universities, including UC San Diego, will be putting in composting. UC San Diego already has biodigester, but those still don't take any of this stuff. Anything that says compostable, not here. Up in the Bay Area, all that stuff, as long as it's BPI, there's one other certification, as long as they're certified, they can take them and compost them. Here in San Diego, I don't know the reason, but there is Miramar composting that composts greenery and really not much else. But I don't know the reason, except my best guess is budget, and it's not a priority. So just money. Yes, Melissa.
So that was great, Laurie. Thank you. I'm excited to see what happens with scripts and plastic. But I have an interesting question, I think. What happens if you're visiting SIO and let's say Caroline's, you can place an order to take out, and you're going to grab your cup of coffee and not come back to Caroline's? Where would you return that mug? Or the same concept for Starbucks. Let's say you're just driving on a road trip, order coffee to go with an app. How does that work? What do you think?
So first of all, the UK, actually, it's not just the UK, it's the UK, France, the EU. A lot of countries and national organizations are dealing with, grappling exactly with this issue, with trying to decide. It's basically a matter of changing consumer behavior and also holding producers responsible. So there are kind of two tiers to that, the answer. And so on the consumer side, changing behavior, they say, is like with the bag tax. You charge like 10 cents or 20 cents or something, and people hate to lose money, even more than they like getting money back. So it's been suggested, but coffee owners really are afraid to lose their customers to their competitors. So it would have to be an across-the-board, they call it a latte tax in Great Britain, and they're considering that, or they're just considering an outright ban. I mean, these things are really big polluters of landfills and ocean and the environment, and it's a huge cost to municipalities to clean these things up. And the municipalities are paying for all of this, and we're paying for it. So Great Britain, for example, is considering an outright ban by 2030 if coffee shops like Starbucks and others don't clean up their act. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, very, very interesting presentation. I was struck by the comment when you put in there that plastic takes 400 years to decompose.
At least.
And I was reading an article on my way here actually yesterday talking about mealyworms that are working on digesting plastic and a possible option to start breaking them down, and also familiar with corn in some use in plastic material to help it decompose. Do you have any comments? Are there any new technology that might be helping to get rid of this stuff?
Yes. Well, first of all, I learned from Captain Charles Moore with the Agalita. He's the one that discovered the garbage patch or the plastic soup out there in the middle of the Pacific. And he told me that there is no away with plastics, including when the worms eat them. I think, they're going to poop it out. But just saying, there really isn't that. And then as far as the second technology that you mentioned was corn. The corn, a lot of it is GMO. Genetically modified, and therefore it uses petroleum in the processing. And, we learned from some other scientists that even, that kind of stuff in Iowa can go down the Mississippi River into the Gulf. And everything is related is what I learned. And so corn is not the answer, I don't think, and it has to be certified if it can be compostable. So if we do have an industrial compost facility, then yes, we can at least compost those kind of things. But I personally not for the GMO corn option. Thank you.